Graphene Manufacturing Group, a company with its own revolutionary way of producing graphene, the wonder material of the 21st century. This bad boy of a molecular structure promises to change the way we live. Graphene is extremely promising for future battery technologies. It is 100 times stronger than steel in some use cases, and graphene is super conductive. But the last time I spoke about Graphene Manufacturing Group, I told you guys I wasn't investing in them just yet. Although that was a year ago and things have changed big time for GMG as a company. Let's look at GMG today and from there on out decide if GMG is a good investment today. Let's get into it. Graphene. Like I said during the intro, graphene is the wonder material of the 21st century. We first discovered this material during the 1960s, but only really started digging deep into its properties from 2010 and onwards. Graphene has many peculiar properties, some of which I am too dumb for to understand, but the ones I do understand are already life-changing. You see, graphene is just a sheet of carbon atoms in an extremely intricate pattern as shown on the screen right now. And because graphene is just one atom thick, it lets through 98% of all light. Besides, thanks to the complex pattern of bindings between the carbon atoms, the material is conductive on levels we haven't seen before. And of course, graphene is extremely strong and durable. And because of those properties, well, the future use cases of graphene are limitless. I believe graphene will play an increasingly important part in our everyday lives. And for the following decades, we might see a very similar growth pattern like plastics had during the 20th century. However, as of right now, producing graphene is really hard. As far as I'm aware, there are just two manners known to mankind. And for the first method, we first gotta grab a piece of graphite. And funnily enough, that is the material I am most heavily invested in. You see, graphite is basically a structure of many graphene sheets stacked on top of each other. And to make graphene out of graphite, we gotta find a way to separate these layers from each other. And the second manner of producing graphene is by creating graphene from scratch. And GMG focuses on the second manner. In their process, they take natural gas as a raw material and turn that into hydrogen as well as graphene powder. To be honest, I am a huge fan of this process. Even their byproduct hydrogen can be used by hydrogen cars and hydrogen trucks in the future. And of course, aside from their insane ESG standard potential, the company claims to have a low cost input and setup. They claim to have extremely fast scalability. They claim to have high quality graphene end product as well as a low environmental footprint. The only part I am personally concerned about regarding this process is this part, the electric plasma part. I would assume this process is extremely energy intensive, but the company is claiming a low environmental footprint, so it cannot be that bad. So this is the flowchart for GMG. They take natural gas as their raw product. They use their own proprietary process to turn it into GMG graphene, which can then of course be used in graphene products. For example, their own product lineup. But I also imagine the company is able to sell this raw material to other graphene users. And GMG products are the following: in HVAC or heating, ventilation and air conditioning systems, as a lubricant, for example in the automotive industry, and of course the biggest reason why graphene is so interesting, in energy storage. So now that we have a better understanding of what graphene actually is, let's now focus on a company overview. As of right now, GMG is a clean technology company, and although they do have their own process of producing graphene, the company is still a pre-revenue company. During the last 6 months of 2021, they did $28,000 in revenue. Not hundreds of thousands of dollars, no, $28,000 in revenue. And since the company is trading at a market cap of hundreds of millions of dollars, you're either betting on one of two things. First, a buyout of their technology from another large company, or second, significant growth in the revenues and the profitability of GMG itself. So which one is it with GMG? Well, from their investors presentation, it seems that the company is betting heavily on increasing their own revenue streams. As of right now, the company is in a research agreement with the University of Queensland to develop graphene aluminium ion batteries. And this collaborative research promises to deliver some batteries with some insane properties. For example, up to 70 times faster charging than lithium-ion batteries and up to 3 times more battery life compared to lithium-ion batteries. For my opinion, this research for sure is really interesting. Currently, GMG is mainly testing coin cell batteries, which are these little demons shown right here. However, Graphene Manufacturing Group is also developing a pouch pack commercial prototype for customer testing, which is targeted before the end of 2022. And for those of you that don't know, a pouch pack battery refers to the batteries you would see in a smartphone, for example. As of right now, a pilot plant for their coin cell batteries is still in the commissioning phase, which should give the company a lot of insights into their own technologies. I imagine these batteries are being heavily tested, and I imagine a lot of research into the scalability of their production processes is happening right now. These coin cell batteries are already being shipped to prospective customers for testing and evaluation, and we might see some revenue streams coming forth from these prototypes, which is quite amazing. We are also awaiting a pouch pack pilot plant, which should be operational in early 2022. If I were to invest in this company, I would keep my eyes open for the pouch pack batteries, since I think those are the most interesting. Important to note, a letter of intent has been signed with Bosch, the engineering company, to design and deliver a graphene aluminium-ion battery manufacturing plant. Also important to note, the management team of this company has plenty of experience in finance, engineering and energy. For example, the directors Robert de Weijer and Guy Outen come directly from Royal Dutch Shell. The CEO has also had a long-lasting career in energy companies, and the other two directors and the CFO seem to mainly have a finance and equity background. So from a first glance, their management team seems to be really diversified and really knowledgeable. But of course, you need to do way more research before you can ever decide to invest. So that was the company overview. Hopefully everything is clear. And if not, do make sure to drop your questions down below in the comment section. But now let's talk about my opinions. And even 1 year from my original video, my thoughts are still a mixed bag. On the one side, I love what the company is doing. I am intrinsically interested in graphene. I would love to have a smartphone which charges in 5 minutes, for example. But on the other hand, I also gotta be honest to myself, and I have to admit that I have no idea whether this magical process actually works, or if it is even better than other graphene startups out there. During my video 1 year ago, I also said that there was no clear path to profitability back then, and there still isn't really any today. Although, to be fair, today it is much clearer where the company will take the shareholders in the future. For now, the company is focusing on the coin cell batteries as well as the pouch pack batteries, and the company has quite a clear roadmap for their pilot plants. So, just like last time, the technology looks really promising, but I just cannot convince myself to invest just yet. For this company, I really want to see promising profits today, or I want to see promising plans for future profits. And until that picture becomes more clear, I will stay on the sideline. After all, I am personally completely fine with missing a rocket ship to the moon, just because I didn't understand the company beforehand. And to be honest, I would recommend you to take a similar stance. I think it is way better to miss out on a rocket ship to the moon than to potentially throw money into a bad company just because you couldn't tell beforehand. But keep in mind, I am not saying GMG is a bad company, I'm just saying that I personally cannot tell. With that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like and maybe even subscribe. Comment down below what you want to talk about next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.